Everyone join, and then we will start. So welcome back, everyone, to the Alibaba webinar content series. I'm your host, Daniel. I'm one of the account managers in Alibaba.com's New York City office. If this is our first time meeting, nice to meet you. If you're returning, it's nice to see you again. Going forward on the webinar, we're going to discuss today's topic of RFQs. Before we get started on that, just wanted to cover a couple of housekeeping items relevant to the presentation. On your chat window, you should be able to post comments or questions during the course of the presentation. I'll try and answer them as they come in or after we cover the topics that we are going to look at today. Additionally, this presentation and all of our other presentations will be live on Alibaba.com's YouTube channel immediately following the presentation, and also will be linked in Alibaba's new Seller Success Hub. So basically, there'll be a complete recap for all of you after the presentation is over. And a quick plug before we get started for the Seller Success Hub. Alibaba has created a brand new website to help our sellers with their account when they're not on the phone with our team. The Seller Success Hub is going to contain information about how to operate your account, how to optimize your account, little tips and tricks that I might give you on these presentations, and everything in between so you can have a more holistic and positive Alibaba experience. This is located at Seller Success Hub on Alibaba.com, and this will be continually updated throughout the year and going forward. So today's topic is RFQs, an additional feature in your account and another method for you to connect with our buyers on the platform. RFQs serve as an additional piece of your account, which operate very similar to inquiries, but not exactly the same. So the first point is, what is an RFQ? An RFQ stands for Request for Quotation, meaning these are buyers coming to Alibaba.com with a product in mind, but not a vendor. They are submitting a post for a product to our seller base on the platform for you to quote and reach out to them. So essentially, Alibaba is aggregating all of our RFQ customers into one place for you to quote and win business that is not coming directly to your account. Each request that a buyer posts on Alibaba.com can be answered by 10 suppliers who wish to pursue the business opportunity. So it's not necessarily first come, first serve, but there is only 10 quotable opportunities in the account for each buyer and seller. A buyer can post the same RFQ multiple times or different RFQs from their account, but each of those is going to be limited to 10 responses from our sellers in the US and international pool. The RFQ Marketplace is in your account under Communications and then RFQs. You can think of this as your personalized marketplace within your account. What I mean by that is there are several ways for you to fine-tune specific keywords, product listings, and categories for you to receive specific RFQs from within our marketplace. You can also search in our marketplace for specific RFQs, but ideally we will tailor a list for you in your account that's easy to access and also easy to understand based on your category, so you're receiving the most relevant messages for products that you offer. Now, customizing your RFQs and your subscriptions lives inside of your account in the menu. Within the menu, you're able to subscribe up to 5 categories on Alibaba.com for you to receive quotes from, and also 24 keywords to receive customized RFQs in your feed. The tricks on this is subscribing to the 5 most relevant categories that you have, or less than 5, and focusing in on keywords that are the most relevant and the high converting within your catalog on Alibaba.com or elsewhere. The most popular keywords will have the most RFQs coming into the marketplace, and you can integrate different combinations of those keywords to receive different RFQs. The kicker is that to enter your feed, the keyword you select will be included in the RFQ exactly. So for example, if you're looking for apples and you want to receive RFQs for that, you will input into the keyword subscription section apples to receive all RFQs containing that exact keyword. Now, for example, if you wanted red apples or green apples or yellow apples, you would have to key that in as an additional set of keywords to subscribe to, because the system will be looking for exact matches very similar to Google in this regard. Importantly, you do not want to use all capital letters similar to your product postings. You want the first letter to be capital and the rest to be lowercase to match. Now, you don't want any symbols or punctuations or hyphens here. You want to include just keywords that you want to subscribe to. Filling out the list of 24 will give you a condensed list of all the opportunities featuring those keywords so that you have the most relevant RFQs to pick from within your account. Now, once you've filled out your RFQ subscriptions in your categories, it's going to change your feed. So your new RFQ feed is going to be personalized to 1, the keywords you selected, 2, the categories you've input, and 3, the most recent RFQs that come into the marketplace. It will actually stack on top of one another based on the amount of time they have been on Alibaba. Now, when you're reviewing the marketplace, it's important to look at a couple of things on the RFQs to make sure you're getting the best possible opportunities. The number one thing is going to be the location of the buyer. On screen, you should see the member country of the user that posted the RFQ, whether they're from the USA, whether they're from Mexico or from Europe or overseas. The system will denote to you which country the user has posted this RFQ from. Importantly, you should review the RFQ titles as well to make sure that you see the exact match keyword. And if you don't, you can click on the RFQ to open it to see the description where it will feature this keyword. Similar to star rating on Alibaba.com, buyer RFQs are also scored. As you can see in the example at the top, there are 3 stars on this RFQ. This denotes that the customer is active in using this feature and is a consistent RFQ submitter for business opportunities. So this might be a good lead for you to go after because the person is active in using the tool, has confirmed their email address with Alibaba.com, and has either used trade assurance on a global vendor or with a US vendor. So this would be a good RFQ to look at as far as quoting. Additionally, on the right-hand side of the window, there's going to be quotes left, like we mentioned before. You can see how popular each RFQ is with the buyer and seller so that you can also win the business and chime in. So effectively, you still can have a chance at some of these listings, but if there's only 2 left, it may be a good place for you to jump in before that leaves the marketplace, right? You have 20 of these preloaded in your account a month, meaning that do not roll over, meaning that within a calendar month, you must use all of them on quotable business opportunity. Look for the ones with the stars, look for the ones with your matching keywords, and look for the ones that are coming from the markets that you would like to service. RFQ messaging. Now, once we've gone ahead and found the lead that matches our description, has the proper keyword, and has the proper MOQ that we're looking for, we can open up the RFQ and get the exact details on what the buyer is looking for. So on the left-hand side of the window, you're going to be able to review all the different attributes of the product they're searching for, the specifics, what they need to choose you as a potential option. And in the center, you're going to be able to send a template displaying your unique selling propositions for this buyer. So how does this look? Part of it is sending your product. So when you're onboarded and live on Alibaba.com, our team has updated 50 to 200 postings for you to get started. And you can send one of those listings to the buyer to take a look at this part of your catalog so that they can see the relevant product that's related to what they're asking for. Or you can send the entire catalog and have them review all of your products if you think you're a good fit. Additionally, you're able to provide a customized message to the buyer so that they can make an informed choice when they're taking a look at your products. So basically from here, my tip would be, in this section, you want to sell all of your unique selling props to this buyer. How quickly can you ship this product? How much of it do you have in stock? What is a unique aspect of your product here, if it's made in the US, right? That you can give to them so that they can pick you. The more detail you can give in these RFQs, the better, especially if they're active users on the site, so that you can get that business opportunity. Remember, it is effectively a competition still, right? There are going to be 9 other vendors or 8 other vendors or 7 other vendors that can quote this business and effectively reach out in the same way that you can. You're going to give as much detail as possible. You're going to make sure that this buyer is going to pick you. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at a live account, right? To see what this looks like in Alibaba.com, show you where you can locate these features and how you can comb the marketplace to match exactly what you need. So this is a test account on Alibaba, and it should look very familiar if you're used to the Myalibaba.com dashboard. On the left-hand side of the window, you're going to find your panel of options to navigate the site. RFQs are going to be found under Communications, and then RFQ Market. Within the RFQ Market, you're going to find a more general list for this account of available RFQs that are matched up with keywords or categories. So from here, you can click on RFQ subscriptions to review the setup on the back end to customize your feed. For example, in this test scenario, we are looking at fresh broccoli as a category we're interested in, and eyelash cases and bags, containing a few specific keywords, such as fresh broccoli, apples, golden delicious, fruit, Apple Watch, red apples, and CBD. Some keywords not necessarily as relevant as others in this example, like maybe we don't want Apple Watch if we are selling apples, but these keywords will match up what's on our list so that we can get the most fine-tuned RFQs possible. An important thing to note here is that in the push notification section, you're going to find 2 options to set up your RFQs. The first one is email notifications. If you enable this feature, it will mean Alibaba will update you for every RFQ that matches your description. If you would not like email notifications for these things, you can toggle this section off so that you can check manually each time you log into the site. If you think it's applicable that you receive each update for RFQs, you can leave this on and the system will ping you every time an RFQ that matches your description is posted. Additionally, if you have the Alibaba Supplier app, which you should, the notifications will be sent to the app as well. The second panel here will allow you to turn off mobile notifications for your seller's account on your mobile device as well. I recommend that you keep them on for the mobile device, but not for your email if you do not want to receive all of those. Either way, these are good ways for you to get updates on your account about buyers who are posting about products that you have in your account or that you specified that you can service for. Now, once we've gone ahead and updated the list, we're going to see that it's more customized and less general than before. You can scroll through the list and find countries that the buyer is located in, different keywords from each category, which can help you understand where the demand is on Alibaba.com, star ranked buyer profiles, which are active on our platform, as well as names and specific actions taken on the site, such as email confirmation or trade actions that can help you understand a little bit more about the buyer who is reaching out to you. On the right-hand side of the window, our panel is going to tell us how many RFQs we have left during the month. So for example, this account has 10 RFQs remaining for the calendar month of June, which means at the end of June, you need to have used all 10 of these RFQs or else it will effectively be lost opportunity. These RFQs do not roll over into the next month or 2 months. They must be used during each calendar month to quote the business that is available. And that's important to remember. Once you've gone ahead and customized the list, you can select the opportunity that looks best to you, select Quote Now, and open up the selection window to send information from your product catalog, which will allow you to pick something in here, which you have on Alibaba.com, to pre-fill in the details and the pictures and the images based on the information you've given us. You can also provide sample information for the buyer so that if they wanted to buy a lesser quantity first to test your product, they would be eligible to do so. And once you have provided as much information as possible, you would click Submit Quotation, which would go directly to the buyer's inbox. Now, again, you can send 10 of these a month, meaning you should take advantage of the opportunities that you have in each 30-day window to maximize overall inquiry value. If you don't find any inquiries or any RFQs that are super specific to you in this list, you can also search the site for specific keywords in RFQs that you're not finding, right? So for example, if you wanted to search for golden apple, you can key this term in and search the RFQ market for additional keywords that can match this description. So for example, some of the best matches, even if there's not golden apple, is fresh apple, Apple Watch case, right? Some of these red delicious apples, some will be less applicable than others, but you can use the marketplace as a tool to find additional opportunity on Alibaba.com to supplement inbound inquiries with outbound work. The difference here that you want to think about is this is more of hunting than it is fishing. So you are going to find leads that match your description and then ultimately send them opportunities to work with you. Now, within your account, you can also manage your sent RFQs or responses to RFQs under quote management. To find this, you can go to communications, quotes management, and it will load up all of the RFQs that you have sent over and separate it into different panels. To be confirmed means you have sent it and is not yet received by the buyer. Have read means the buyer has received it and reviewed it, but not necessarily responded. Have responded includes the next part of the chain there. They have seen it, they have read it, and they have wrote you back. And then order processing would be obviously the final chain where they've negotiated with you and then ultimately placed an order on your side. RFQs are a great additional tool in our tool set on Alibaba.com to get additional inquiries, additional buyers finding you and getting eyes on your catalog and giving you more overall exposure on our platform to do more business ultimately. So as far as RFQs are concerned, that is really the covering of the full topic. So we have a little bit of time for questions on this so that I can help further clarify or offer some insights on exactly how RFQs can work for you and how you can best utilize them going forward. So you can drop some questions into the chat if you have any. I have some off the top of my head that I can think of regarding common questions, but I'll see if the audience has anything different as well. Jeff, I saw that you had raised your hand, so I'm not sure if I can share the screen with you or have you come on to speak necessarily, but if you want to drop your question into the chat, I would be happy to answer. So you raise your hand again, Jeff. Not sure if I can share the mic with you per se, but maybe if you want to enter the chat window, I'd be happy to answer your question. One second, actually. Jeff, welcome. I've just opened the floor. I can answer your question right now.
That would be great. Thank you. Can you hear me all right there, Daniel?
Sure can.
All right. I actually tried hitting the chat box and it said chat disabled, but the Q&A was open. So sorry for my miscommunication on that. My real quick question. We're allowed 20, I guess, RFQs per month, correct?
That is correct.
Do we have to use those 20? A couple times you said you need to use these, I don't think we're required to use all 20. We don't lose the opportunity or anything for the following month if we don't use all 20. Is that correct?
Yeah, excellent question, actually. So you do not lose privileges to using your 20 if you choose not to use them. Why I emphasize using them so much is because they don't roll over and there is a quality amount of valid opportunity within the RFQs that you might be missing out on if you don't use them. So I would encourage you that going into the RFQ market could be a daily exercise effectively for Alibaba.com to make sure that you're maximizing value. And I just don't want you to leave anything on the table effectively.
Perfect. Thank you for that answer.
No problem, Jeff. Thank you for your question. So anybody else can drop a question into the chat or into the Q&A. Also, if you raise your hand, I can also promote you into the chat and I can answer your question live if you're open to joining me. So I got a question from Sam and Jennifer here. I'll go straight down the list. I only sell in the USA and get a lot of RFQs from other countries. How can I stop this? Good question. So, two ways. This list can not necessarily be fine-tuned by nation just yet. But if you click on the X on your window, you can close this out and not see those RFQs going forward. Additionally, if you close out a few of these, they will give you an option and ask you why you are closing out so many, and you will have the ability to say, hey, I don't want to see any from this user or from this country for a small amount of time. So effectively, how you can do this is closing out the ones that you don't like, and then the system will kind of learn effectively as to what you're not looking for, Sam. So that would be my response to that. Jennifer asks that I am new to Alibaba and have submitted a couple RFQs. And it turns out these companies I submitted to were also sellers on Alibaba.com and not buyers. What did I do wrong? I actually don't think you did anything wrong here, Jen. I think basically on Alibaba, your account operates as a seller account and a buyer account. So it's possible that accounts can do really everything. At the end of the day, meaning they can submit products, or they can say that they're looking for products to buy, they're additional to looking to products to sell. If you see something in a product listing that says, hey, I'm posting an RFQ and I sell this product, you can obviously ignore those and X them out of your feed. Or if you think they might be someone that could obviously be a buyer of your product as well, you can try and quote them. So I don't think you did anything wrong. It's more of a learning experience than anything. So I would just say if you see someone trying to sell something or they end up being a seller on Alibaba.com, totally normal. Accounts functions both ways on our site. So another good question. Thank you so much for asking it. Anybody else have any questions off the top of their head related to RFQs that you can think of, or anything I can provide some insight on that I maybe haven't covered? 1 second, Sam. Welcome, Sam.
Hi. The question I have is, I make a very specific product, but it's a plant marker, but it's a very unique branded product. And the challenge I'm getting is that the RFQs that are coming through are actually displaying my competitors' different types of plant markers, and they're asking me to send them a quote. I'm thinking of answering the quote, but showing them my product instead of what they're looking for, or should I just ignore it?
I think it's a good question. You can go either way on this one. I think if your competitors' products, right, or
right,
clarify as well. You mean like your competitors are listing this product, or you're seeing?
Yes, I mean, there's a number of Chinese companies that manufacture plant markers, but they use a different material than I do. Mine's a very specific type of material that I'm the only one that makes, quite frankly. But the challenge is that they do list the buyer's name, two telephone numbers, and an email. I've called phone numbers, nobody responds. In fact, one of them, the phone number was no longer in use, and it was listed as a USA company. But when I checked further, it was actually a company from Asia. As far as responding to my RFQ and also my emails, nobody ever responds. So you kind of feel like, are they just fishing, or are they really serious about making a purchase?
Yeah, it's a fair and fine question. I think there's a couple things you want to look for on each RFQ to help maybe make this decision a little easier, right? So I think one, to answer your first question, do I block or do I send?
Right.
That one, I think I may have to lean on you there for your expertise on your side about what they're asking for. If you think you offer a similar product, right, or a unique selling prop that someone can't get elsewhere, feel free to kind of put that in front of them and on their plate and see if that's enough to get them to buy.
I mean, the way I'm looking at it is that I'm not, if they don't like it, they don't like it. Nobody's forcing anybody to buy anything. By the same token, as long as I'm going to spend the money to be online, I might as well take advantage of the situation that may change their mind. But it's interesting how they are requesting me to give them a quote, but still, eh, I question, did they really check out that I only sell in the US, and do they check out my product thoroughly or not? Because it just seems like it's kind of a shotgun approach to me. I mean, that's just my,
Oh yeah, I appreciate
okay.
your your insight on.
I mean, it'd be like if I want to buy an Apple computer, but I want a quote from Dell. Yeah, they're both
Yeah,
computer companies, but they're totally different.
of course. And I think you actually raised two good points here and worth, that stick in my mind, right? One, RFQs are going to be, hyper clear on what they're asking for, right? And maybe
Yeah,
they enter your feed in the wrong way and you can X those out or subscribe to different keywords. And then, number two, I would say, the point you made was, well, no, I haven't got a response yet. I think there's a lot of touch points you have to put on buyers sometimes to make sure that you capture their attention, right? If
yeah,
you're a quote, you should potentially receive a phone number or an email address, like you mentioned. And it might be a good tool for you to use to put into their, into email marketing or to some sort of campaign that can get future touch points on them to win that business and get their attention. I can tell you that the most successful vendors on this site are the ones who are also doing a lot of outreach to the buyers that they do receive to make sure that they are effectively receiving.
well, yeah, sort of like upselling.
In a sense, yes.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your question, of course. Just want to make sure I
Okay.
get in the panel. So
All right. Well, I'm still pretty new at this, so I'm learning as I go.
there's a lot of learning you have to do.
Yes, there is. Yes, far more than I ever expected.
No problem. Thanks for chiming in. All right. So I saw the chat had some questions here as well. Okay. So we had a question from Suban. Can you send RFQ templated messages? So yes, you can. So to save yourself time with RFQs, you can provide templates in that section of the site for you to utilize for sending, a response to your catalog or to a certain product. You can preload those as responses. Additionally, the RFQs will allow you to pull out a certain product of your catalog to send directly to the buyer. So there are going to be a few elements within your account that can save you time, like templates and sending current product listings that can really help you. The second question is, how can I identify if RFQs are valid or fake? So I think there's a couple unique identifiers that go into this, right? One of them is are they ranked by the system, right? So if they have a bonus quotation, for example, and 3 stars, this is a buyer that's actively using RFQs on Alibaba.com and is corresponding with sellers who are responding to not just specifically this one, but other RFQs as well. So the stars are going to be a big indicator of who is a potential good lead and who is not. Otherwise, I think it comes from using the tool and getting an understanding of the language that people ask for. Like, are they just sending a generic template? Do they have specifics in there? I think as you comb through the details on each RFQ, you can find unique identifiers on your side that help you see which is good and which is bad. Troy, I see you raise your hands. Just because we are coming up on time here, Troy, will be the last live question. And then if there's any in the channel, I will cover those quickly just so that we don't run over by too much. Second, Troy, I will have you join in a moment. Troy, welcome.
Yes, hello. And I apologize, I just joined late. I was on a overlapping Zoom call. And so I'm hoping, I see this is being recorded, so if my question has already been asked and answered, I apologize for that. But so when I was sold on this program to join Alibaba at the cost of $1,900, I believe it was, I was informed that it would work very well for my business, even though my business is a wholesale business. It seems like, even though I know you guys are moving into the US market, but it still seems like it's geared mainly towards manufacturers rather than wholesalers such as myself. I have my products made in China and shipped to the US, and I'm looking to find wholesale customers, but it still does not seem like the program is geared towards that. all the RFQs are looking for custom-made products, and I don't do, at least at this point, I'm not doing custom-made products. I'm selling ready-made, mass-produced, wholesale priced products. So, is there something I'm missing? Thank you.
I don't know if I can answer that short question in a short way. And I think maybe an appropriate way for me to answer that is maybe to connect with you after this and maybe have a more condensed individual look at your account. Of course, that is, a good question and outlines exactly where you need help. And I think that for me to help you best and to answer that question best, I probably need a little more one-on-one time to do that. So if I believe my email went out, has my contact information, send me something after this and I'd be happy to connect with you.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you for your question. All right. So, Sam, I see you have your hand raised. I'm not sure if that was from before, but any final questions here in the chat I could cover? I think I might have covered everything that came through the channel. So, if that's all for now, I will let you guys go effectively. Thank you for joining in on another session. We intend to host these regularly to have an open forum and cover topics of interest that can help improve the experience for you guys. So thank you for your time, of course. And if you have anything, please check out Seller Central, check out the YouTube channel, tons of content and good information from our team to help you get the most out of your membership. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it and look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.